Principle number what? 4. Here goes. You are the root of your success. I'll repeat it. You are the root of your success. Now, remember I just mentioned that my philosophy earlier was that if I got into the right business at the right time, I was certain to get rich? Well, that led to another major lesson. So I had this belief that all I needed was a hot business concept, something that others were killing it in, and then I would too, right? And I tried, but it wasn't working. You remember that? Yes? Okay. So finally, listen to this. Finally, a friend calls me up from Florida, and he tells me about this new business that he's in, and he's making a fortune, and that I have to jump in on this, and I have to start doing it on the East Coast. I remember leaving this conversation, him leaving it, and he says, "Harv, my friend, welcome to the Wealth Club." And I think you know how excited I was. I mean, he hit the right words, right? Finally, all my work, all my studying, all my everything was finally going to pay off. Finally, I was finally going to realize all my dreams. It was going to happen. Okay, fast forward exactly 5 months later. My friend, he's still killing it, even more. He's making a freaking fortune. And me, I'm losing more and more and more money. It is hemorrhaging, and I'm just about broke again. I couldn't believe it. How could this be? How could I be going bust in the same business that he's making a fortune in? I remember standing in front of the mirror, wondering what to do next. And like a ton of bricks, it hit me. I remember saying to myself, right in the mirror, I went, wow, maybe it's not the business. Maybe it's me. I had to take a deep gulp. I was depressed. I was embarrassed. Could it be true? Could it actually be that I was the problem? So I kind of moseyed around for a few days. And at that point in time, I got a call from a very old friend. And the first thing I said to him was, "I'm not interested in any business opportunity, thank you." He laughed and he said, "I'm not calling you about that. I'm calling to invite you to a course that I've been doing. It's been really, really great for me. I'm learning a lot about myself, and I think you'd enjoy it." "What kind of course?" I asked. And he said, "It's a personal development course." I looked up to the sky and I said, "Harv, you have nothing more to lose. You need something different." And so I went. That was the day my life transformed. It was the first time I really looked in the inner mirror. I examined my thoughts, my beliefs, my character, my habits. And you know what? I have to admit, I did not like what I saw. I saw an angry, frustrated, disappointed, jaded, egotistical young man who thought he knew more than he really knew, as evidenced by his real results in the real world. I saw that my mindset was set for failure instead of success. I saw that my character had huge flaws in it. I saw that my habits were not overly positive and were actually unproductive. And the biggest thing that I saw was that the one and only reason I had not been successful was not because of the businesses that I chose, and not because of the suppliers that I had, and not because of the partners that I got involved in. It was because of me. Me, and me. It was the cause of it all, me. And I finally understood what I now teach to everyone, that your thoughts lead to your feelings, which lead to your actions, which lead to your results. And I had a case of what's called stinking thinking, but I didn't know it. And it infected my entire world. And I vowed that I would change that, and began devoting myself almost full time to working on myself and making the internal changes necessary. And guess what happened? As I grew, my money grew. Let me say that again. As I grew, my money grew. And I realized that your business and money can only grow to the extent that you do. And I realized that you are the root, I repeat, the root cause of your success, your mediocrity, or any failure. I realized that for better or for worse, I created my life just as it is, and there is no one and nothing else to blame for anything. In short, I finally took full responsibility for my results and my life, and instead of making me feel bad, guess what? I felt free because I finally understood that if I create my life, I can change my life. And I did, and so can you. It all starts and it all ends with you. Who you are, your thoughts, your character, your habits. And this is illustrated really well with a story about my own son, Jesse. You know, he was always a smart kid, but he never fully applied himself in school. I mean, I guess where he got that. and he did okay, but he never did great. And I remember that he was in his first year of university. And, you know, of course, first year, I mean, hey, we got away from home. We wanted to have fun. I mean, that's pretty normal. Too much fun, unfortunately. And his marks showed that. He was barely passing. And you know what? I wasn't overly upset about that, but I was concerned about something else, something more important than marks. I was concerned about what was creating those poor marks. So I had a conversation with him. I said, Jess, what do you want most in your life? And he said, to be successful. I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30, Dad. I said, well, my son, I have some good news and maybe some not so great news. First, the good news. I really believe that you're going to be a millionaire. His face lit up. Then I said, but not for a long, long time. Maybe when you're 50. And he said, what are you saying? I don't get it. I said, yeah, I think you're going to be a millionaire when you're around 50. And I could see his disappointment. He actually got a little bit huffy and he said, Dad, how can you say that? You're usually so encouraging. That is crappy for you to say to me. And I answered, I'm saying it because it's really what I think. And he said, why do you think that? I said, because we are creatures of what? And he knew the answer. And he answered, habit. And then I hit him with the point of an arrow. I said, successful people have successful habits. Unsuccessful people have unsuccessful habits. Which do you think you have? And he said, I don't know. I said, well then, look at your results. The only field of play that you're in right now is school. And your only scorecard is your marks. And they are crappy. And the problem isn't that your marks aren't good right now. It's that the same habits that you have that are creating these poor marks will become lodged in you subconsciously and become very, very, very hard to break. Jess, right now, you have the same habits unsuccessful people have, and those habits will stay with you forever unless you do something about it right now. Well, one thing about my son, he's an action taker. He's a doer. And he immediately began taking 3 nights a week to go to the library where he was away from all his friends and his dorm and everything and do his homework and study. And by the end of the year, guess what? He had a 4.0 grade average and ended up graduating on the dean's list. And now, in the business world, he is well on his way to become a millionaire on his own, and he's not yet 30. All of this because he changed his mindset, his habits, his character. In short, he worked on and changed himself. Bottom line, for your business to get better, you have to get better. For your money to grow, you have to grow. In short, T.Harv believed it was all about getting into the right business. T.Harv knows it's all about the right you. You are the root of your success. So let's do this declaration together. Hand on your heart. Let's go. I am the root of my success. Repeat after me. I am the root of my success. Now give yourself a high five and say, I'm amazing. Beautiful. Great job.